from 153 naira 95 kobo at yesterday's close. The central bank sold all the $183 million demanded at 151 naira 79 kobo to the dollar, having sold $314 million at 152 naira 64 kobo on Monday. The Apex Bank on Friday imposed a maximum weekly limit of $250,000 in dollar trades by banks to Foreign Exchange Bureau, a move which traders said was aimed at combating money laundering and controlling capital flight. Dollar demand at the CBN's bi-weekly auction, which was regularly stood at about $400 million, has fallen since the measure was announced further, supporting the naira. Dealers expect the naira to appreciate further in the coming days as more dollar inflows from energy firms and foreign investors keep coming to the system. Nigerian oil blocks being sold by Royal Dutch Shell only needs the signature of the incoming petroleum minister to be concluded, but negotiations with the state oil firm could still cause delays. Reports say Shell, along with foreign oil firm partner Total and Eni, have agreed to sell their share in two onshore oil blocks which Shell operates in the onshore wetlands in the Niger Delta. State oil firm NNPC, which owns the majority stake in the blocks, has said its subsidiary would take over from Shell as operator of the fields once the deal are completed. Could the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries top official says it wants to mend fences with the International Energy Agency and avoid a repeat of a release of oil from stockpiles that has strained consumer producer relations. Secretary General of OPEC, Adallah Sam El Hadri, said he will set up a meeting with IEA Executive Director to discuss better coordination between consumers and producers. Mr. El Adris remarks today struck a more reconciliatory tone than earlier in the week when he joined other OPEC figures in sharply criticizing the IEA move. The IEA last week, Thursday, surprised markets by initiating an emerging release of 60 million barrels, pushing down oil prices and generating near universal criticism from OPEC figures. Crossing to the hype from the headquarters of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation (NNPC) that the price of kerosene will soon come down to 50 naira. A government source has said this may not be immediately possible because there has not been any official pronouncement indicating what price the commodity should be sold for. This source said the absence of a document to back up the pronouncement by former President Obasanjo's administration, stating clearly that the commodity be sold at 50 naira per litre, has compelled the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency to exclude it as one of the petroleum products that should attract subsidy. Some petroleum marketers who also said aside from the Obasanjo factor, the process of procuring their old stocks attracts high premium, and if they have to sell at the NPC 15 naira recommended price, they will be doing so at a loss. The marketer explained that it was for this reason that 15 days after the NPC, and major oil marketers agreed that the market will be flooded with kerosene and thereby crash the price of the product to 50 naira per litre. Nigerians still buy the product at between 100 and 174 naira per litre. And we'll move straight to the service segment now. Research in Nigeria is not a new concept in business and management, but effective research is something not too many people take seriously. For any business to effectively grow, research is one necessary aspect. So this afternoon, our focus in the program is the role of research and strategic management in both business and economic development. And our guest this afternoon is a professor of strategic management, Professor Solomon Fatiledi. Professor Fatiledi, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
We are taking a look at strategic management, and people believe that strategic management is strongly theory-based. How would you react to this?
Oh, no, strategic management isn't theory. Strategic management uses the resources you have in a company, the resources available in the external environment in Nigeria, if you are operating in Nigeria, and interpolating that into the vision and mission of where you want to be. And it is strategic management that American Telephone and Telegraph used to be the second most profitable company in the world. It's what ExxonMobil is using to be the most profitable with $30 billion. And I mean $30 billion. Now we who are in research know that ExxonMobil is trying to get $35 billion next year. Even though the U.S. Congress is beginning to question them, is beginning to try to pull subsidies off of oil exploration. But again, it is the basis of achieving what we call above average returns. Americans usually say before achieving bottom line. Bottom line is no longer good for businesses. If you want to be at the top of the world in your business, you want to achieve above average returns for your investors, for the capital stakeholders, and for the organizational stakeholders.
You have cited the example of what operates in the U.S. Why is it not working in Nigeria?
Why is it not working in Nigeria? I would say many companies do achieve above average returns in Nigeria. Only that on the whole, in general, we want to look at strategic management. We want to look at the interpolation of vision and mission. We want to most importantly look at the environment where these companies operate. If I ask you, producer, to go from Akure in Ondo State to Lagos, a distance of over just about 200 miles, you're going to go for about 4 hours. In the United States, you go from New York to Washington, D.C. for about that distance, but that is double the distance. Road infrastructure is bad. So no matter strategic management you do, we require a governmental intervention. We require that the playing be leveled for businesses. Again, you can make all excellent programs for yourself, but if I ask you deliver precious cargo from your factory in Akure to my office in Sokoto, it's going to take you enormous time. But in Washington, D.C., I will achieve that in less than 1.5 hours.
We'll soon come to that. Let's take a look at starting a new business.
Yes.
Can be so difficult and time-consuming.
Very difficult.
Risky.
Yes.
So what role would you say research and strategic management could play in this regard?
Let me tell viewers, starting new businesses, it's an excellent thing. But again, a lot of people start new businesses because they have the vision, because they have the dream, but they never do adequate research. And I will always ask those who are trying to start new businesses today, if I ask you one single question, and I'm going to be your investor, how do you know this will be profitable? Please, at home, don't answer me, it will be profitable. I am a professor and I want evidence-based questions. I want also evidence-based answers. So for a new business to be profitable, you need to do research about how other businesses in that area have been doing. Do you have experience about conducting such businesses? What is the support in the environment for such businesses in the area, Ondo State, Lagos State, or all over Nigeria, that business will be operating? What's your capital base? Again, in short, in strategic management, we call this scanning of the internal, external environment. You're looking at your internal resources, but you are looking at the external opportunities. If I tell you that a couple of years ago I brought internet to Akure, Ondo, Abekiti, Ibadan, the external environment was perfect. That was 10 years ago. You would be making thousands before you could say the word thousands. Today, the environment is different. Energy is different, even though we have
I wanted to say that because when you take a look at the detailed infrastructure,
yes,
you now agree with me that strategic management is a kind of theory when it comes to Nigeria.
When it comes to Nigeria, again, it is absolute practical thing. If today in the U.S. I try to invite investors to Ondo State, we said that to the governor of the state when he came to the U.S. and we met in Dr. Jagnon's place and other places. It's not a theory here. If you scan the environment and you know that the business you're bringing will require energy, don't rely on NEPA. I'm sorry, NEPA. Don't rely on that. Rely on renewable, which is called sustainable energy development. Use solar power with inverter and get that calculated by professionals who will give you the total wattage usage in your home, and then NEPA or no NEPA. All we are saying is you're going to tap the energy. So again, that is strategic management. You know the environment. You know in Nigeria, energy is close to zero. I live here in Akure, and when in my own house, I practice exactly what I'm telling you. I have calculated how much I will use for diesel at my average consumption. That would be 150,000 in about 33 days that I was spend in Nigeria. And I said, listen, I'm going to practice what I write, what I do, what I say. So I brought inverter and I set that up. Right now I have spent 10 days, so I should have used about 53,000 in energy, but I've only bought diesel less than 6,000.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, the program continues, and how with me in the studio, Professor Makilede, and together we are taking a look at the role of research and strategic management in business development. Just